Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
Hot off the biggest year of his career.
Johnson just clocked
#1 heavyweight contender Tim Johnson brings his hellacious right hand to a clash against counter-striker Valentin Moldavsky.
It has been domination by Moldavsky.
Riding a 5-fight winning streak. The quest for the interim heavyweight title is on. Bellator MMA, live tonight on Showtime, where warriors rule.
Welcome, Bellator fight fans. We are back at the Mohegan Sun Arena for another great night of fights. Tonight, the Bellator interim heavyweight belt is on the line. Tim Johnson has moved his way up the rankings into the #1 spot, and his deserved opponent is the Team Fedor standout Valentin Moldavsky. Welcome, everyone, into the fight sphere. We have a great show. I am Jen Brown, and joining me tonight is the former two-time world champ, Josh Thompson. Lots to get to tonight, Josh, just him and I. So we're going to get right into it, all right? Shall we do it?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, so the interim heavyweight belt is on the line because our current champ, Ryan Bader, he's currently fighting in the light heavyweight world Grand Prix. We've got #1 ranked Tim Johnson taking on Valentin Moldavsky. He's #3. Both of these guys, Josh, are very similar stylistically. So what do you think is going to be the difference maker tonight?
It's speed versus size. That's really what it's going to come down to. And the old adjective is speed kills. We're going to find out if there's some truth behind that tonight.
Absolutely. Now, both of these guys have told us this week that they have had a great camp coming into tonight. Both come from great teams, right? We got Team Fedor, we got Extreme Couture, great training partners for both of them. So, you know, are they similar in that coming into tonight? They've had a great camp. What's the difference?
They both train with high-level competition, which is great. And that's, I think, we're going to see how their level's going to come together tonight. One is really good and quick on the feet, has really good wrestling. The other one is a little slower, but a lot bigger, and also has very good wrestling. They may cancel each other out. We may stay a stand-up fight.
All right. Well, I look forward to that. That is our main event. It is coming up later tonight on Showtime at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. But now let's kick off the night and head down cage side to Big John McCarthy and a familiar face to Bellator that we haven't seen in a little while, Sean Grandy. Welcome back, Sean.
Jen, thank you so much. It is great to see you guys. It is great to be back. There are a lot of fascinating things, John, about this main event. And to me, I can't get over the fact you have two guys, different stages of their career, different ages, come from different parts of the world. They're completely different until they get in the cage when they're remarkably similar.
That's based upon their wrestling backgrounds. Look at Valentin Moldavsky started off as a Greco-Roman wrestler. Tim Johnson's a freestyle wrestler. But they go about it a little bit different. One is an upper body guy, one is more of the freestyle with the legs. So we're going to see which style really plays out best in that cage.
That's the main event. That's the interim heavyweight championship. We have a lot to get to tonight when we go live on Showtime at 9 o'clock Eastern. And, you know, pick one out. There are a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of stories to be told. I keep looking, John, at the Daniel Feischl-Leone Diggs fight because only one of those guys can still be standing at the top of that 145.
Yeah, that's the exact fight I would have picked out, too, because Leone Diggs is on a roll. This guy is dynamic. He's explosive. He's got great ground. He's got a super good submission game, but he's going against a wily veteran in Daniel Feischl who has been against everyone. He is still very good. The question is, where are they in their careers? A 52-fight veteran compared to now a 10-fight veteran.
All right, we're going to start with the prelims and with some blue-chip prospects to see. We're going to answer the question about heavyweight later. But at 155, what happens after Patricio Pitbull and A.J. McKee? We're going to see some new names trying to get on that list at 155. You're looking at two of them. They'll kick it off here for more on this fight. This has a lot of twists and turns to it. We go to Gareth Davies.
Denmark's Soren Bak faces American Bobby Lee in a test of strength and wit tonight. The true Viking Bak, who is 14-1 in his career, kicked off his Bellator debut last time out with a brilliant unanimous decision victory over Terry Brazier in London, signalling both his skill and ambition at 155 pounds. Bak believes he has what it takes to get into the top 10 rankings, yet faces a strong force in the flame-haired fighter Lee, who was bested on points on his Bellator debut by the undefeated Joey Davis. No shame there, but he'll be looking to get back into the win column and notch up a 13th career victory in this, his 18th fight. From London, back to you at Mohegan Sun Arena.
The one and only Gareth Davies. And if you have not seen Soren Bak before, this is a very entertaining fighter coming off a somewhat significant injury, trying to make his mark here at Bellator at 155.
And now, to get the evening underway, we welcome our first fighter, Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee's life changed at age 10, age 11, when he turned on the TV and he saw Big John McCarthy in the cage. And it forever changed him, and he decided, okay, maybe it was the GSP head kick of Matthews, maybe, but to me, you never really know. I mean, you were three guys in there, and you were one of them. But the point being, that fight changed his life, and he had to basically spend the last 10 years convincing everyone that he can do this, and he can do this at a high level. He does not lack for confidence.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Sean, he is so strong. And he's got good wrestling. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got heavy hands. The only thing that he has to do in this fight tonight is don't fall into the traps that Soren Bak likes to set up.
And now, we welcome his opponent, Soren, the true Viking.
True Viking dresses the part. You may not know, if you're in the UK, you know who Paddy Pimblett is. You probably heard that name, a rising young fighter who is on his way to trying to repeat that Conor McGregor feat of winning the double titles in Cage Warriors. Soren Bak said, yeah, not on my watch, and beat him in that fight, despite a comeback attempt by Paddy Pimblett. And it was a fight that really put Soren Bak on the map. And he went through an injury. Everybody during the pandemic, John, is a different story. For Soren Bak, he was sort of happy the timing worked out because he had an injury to recover from, and now it feels like he's 100% and ready to make his mark at 155.
Yeah, he says he's back full steam ahead. He says all the things in the past are gone. I am healthy. I'm ready. We're going to see tonight.
Let's check out the tail of the tape in our opener.
Very simply put, you look at this lightweight battle, 14-1. That is telling you that Soren Bak is an outstanding fighter with a great record. Bobby Lee at 12-5. That is not bad either. This is going to be a really great matchup.
Nothing happens in Bellator without the voice of Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you back inside Mohegan Sun Arena as we get set now to kick off the prelims for Bellator 261 as we welcome in those viewers streaming it live tonight on YouTube at Showtime Sports and Bellator MMA. We get the action underway with 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'9", weighing in 155 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 12 wins, 5 losses. He fights out of Becker, Minnesota, Bobby Lee. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 156 pounds. As a professional, 14 victories, just 1 defeat. He fights out of Copenhagen, Denmark, Soren, the true Viking. And when the action begins, the ref in charge, Kevin McDonald.
Approach your life with the enthusiasm Bobby Lee does. You're going to be in good shape. Man from Minnesota.
Ready to fight? Ready to fight?
Let's go. Inside St. Cloud, Minnesota, north of Minneapolis. His Bellator debut against Joey Davis.
Not an easy task. Joey Davis, one of the amazing wrestlers that is on the Bellator roster, just an incredible fighter now. So, nothing bad in getting a loss and a decision loss to Joey Davis.
And Bobby Lee was a good high school wrestler and decided, you know what, I'm in Bellator. Well, let's see if I can wrestle with Joey Davis. And we learned there's a lot of different levels to wrestling. Oh, wow.
Soren Bach putting a lot of pressure on Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee very quickly off the ground there, lest he get himself in early trouble.
Nice job of framing. You look at that right arm, he's framing the head away. That's going to make Soren Bach lose some strength. It's hard to hold on right now. Do anything effective.
One of my favorite parts of the prelims in the good old days was being able to hear the coaches. And then we went into the pandemic when you could hear everything all the time. And I think fans became more accustomed to it.
Yeah, they did. And it's good because a lot of times you can see the difference in the corners and the way coaches approach them. Bobby Lee, this is what we're talking about. Those big, looping, swinging punches. That is not the effective way. Beautiful back transition by Soren Bach. Bobby needs to be relaxed. He's got the body triangle set in.
The danger of those undisciplined shots is you can't recover. You're off balance.
Off balance, out of position, and this is what happens. You give an opportunity to your opponent. Soren Bach took that opportunity, and look where he's at.
Bobby Lee's still smiling, by the way, if anybody's keeping track of him. I don't know how much longer that's going to last.
Well, I'll tell you, Bobby is very used to this. You know, his coach, Brock Larson, outstanding jiu-jitsu practitioner, super strong, very effective with his submissions. So I know Bobby's been in this position many times in practice. He just needs to work his way out.
Most of Bobby Lee's professional fights have been at 170. I spent so much time tonight talking about the heavyweight title and Ryan Bader being in the light heavyweight tournament, but 155 has been sitting there for a while now because Champ is great on paper.
On paper.
But
it's not good as far as fighting.
No, it creates some issues, and 155 is interesting because you look at the top guys in the rankings. Bobby Lee gets himself free. You look at the rankings, and Patricio's not going to fight his brother. Benson Henderson's coming off a loss. Goichi's coming off a loss. So there's an opportunity, which is why the Miles Jury fight tonight is so big.
Yeah, both Outlaw and Jury are looking at, hey, if I win this fight and I look impressive, I get a title shot. They might be right.
Same way one of these guys with an impressive performance could get near that top 10. Level change.
Nice blast double by Bobby Lee. Put Soren Bach, he's got to be very careful his neck. If he gets past those legs, he's going to be fine, but do not let Soren Bach lock your body up with those legs.
Past him. The side control.
You notice right away you saw Soren Bach, once he lost the leg, right away let go of that head, looking like it's a guillotine. There's nothing there, it can only trap you.
In Bobby Lee's fight with Joey Davis, he held on to a Kimura. He was going for it for too long, even though the moment to let it go had come and gone. And that's just an experience thing. He's had a lot of fights, but he's still very young.
A lot of shoulder pressure right now. Bobby Lee's got good position. He's putting a lot of pressure down on Soren Bach. You see that shoulder towards that jaw. That's a lot of pressure. It keeps his head off to the side. It makes it difficult for him to defend.
How would you categorize the development of the European fighters against the American wrestling from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah, you just hit it on the head. There's such a huge difference because at one time, a lot of the fighters from some of the European countries, there wasn't a lot of good wrestling. Now, obviously, Eastern European with Russians, fantastic wrestling. But when you're talking about Norway and that, not great. You see Bobby trying to hold on to that Kimura grip.
That's exactly what we were talking about.
And he's in a position, there is no way he's going to be able to do anything with it at this time. Now he's trying to transition over to an armbar. Finally let go of it, smart move.
Is that a matter of not having as many clubs in your bag as you're going to have eventually, as what the next thing is?
Yeah, it's all about your ability to transition from one technique to the next.
No, you're good. Have a seat, Bobby. He has a close round, Bobby.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, so that was good. We gotta, that wizard worked. So if he's gonna shoot in on us sloppy like that, keep that wizard. We gotta get hands right away. If he's gonna use that body triangle, we gotta come up to one side. Maintain hand control and pop our hips right away, okay? He's not, we're better on the ground than him, okay?
All right, let's go get the first one.
Wenn es die Davies up in stage. Take it easy.
How did you see that first round?
You know, it is a close round, but I honestly believe Soren Bach is the guy that's going to get that on the judges' scorecards. He landed the better punches overall and the better grappling if you're looking at what was occurring for most of the fight. Nice jab right into the single leg. Beautiful job by Bobby Lee. Soren Bach jumping right back up. He's got that neck again. He's dangerous on the neck. You need to be very careful where he's at. Nice job by Bobby Lee. He tried to hook up that Darce. It was not there. Bobby Lee switched it over on him. Right now, it could be in a north-south choke.
It's a little bit of what we were talking about, that he let go when he didn't have it. He let go immediately.
And that many times is what you're going to see as far as just experience. You know, guys are going to hold on to things because they think, oh, I've got, you know, they know they're losing it, but then they just hold on to it like, I don't know where else to go. Once you know you've lost it, go to something better.
Soren Bach coming off right knee surgery. Pretty long rehab with it, but it worked out timing-wise. He has not fought since November of 2019.
Nice job by Soren Bach to get back to his feet. That was a nice heavy ride by Bobby Lee. Brings him right back down to the canvas. Now he's trying to take the back. One hook in.
Soren Bach trying to defend the second one.
Nice job by Bobby to trap that arm.
Yep.
Right now he's going to have the ability to try to make that choke work. That arm is trapped. He's only got one arm to defend with. He's going palm to palm on this. Soren Bach slowly turning. Again, this is what we're talking about. You're losing the position. Soren Bach very, very calm on the ground, does not panic. And that's why he got himself out of that position.
It's almost as if the corner recognizes the danger before Bobby Lee does.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, Soren Bach just bringing him back down to the ground. Got control. You're going to see Bobby trying to at least hold on to one of those arms. And he's trying to do the same thing of turning, but where he's turning right now, he wants to have this foot on the ground. That will help him actually turn inside of that figure four. As he's trying to do it right now, he's going the wrong way.
Now it is. You can hear it. So much of fighting is counterintuitive anyway.
Oh, it's, you know,
step into the punch. You know, my body wants to go this way, but that's not going to get you out of it.
This is going to be very bad for Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
He gets this down. Nice job of continuing off, rolling through. You do not want to be face down with that body triangle. It's uncomfortable just the way it is, and when you get face down, it puts a ton of pressure on your lower back.
Being away from the fence help give Bobby Lee more options now.
Absolutely, this is a good place, but it's also good for Soren Bach because he can move from side to side. Notice how he keeps that figure four up. That's going to keep Bobby Lee where he's at.
And let me do it again. Left shoulder to the mat.
Sorenbach is really demonstrating his ability with the grappling arts. He's just moved himself into better positions overall. Bobby, nice job by Bobby exploding up. Be careful of the triangle right now. Bobby Lee stepping over to that half guard.
You almost got to finish it. Yeah, I'm this. I'm this end. I'm on a turn.
Was able to do this in the first round, step through. Sorenbach hanging on to a leg, hanging on to an arm.
Well, the big difference right there, Sorenbach had his arm in the wrong place. He had it over the head instead of the underhook. If he had had the underhook, he would have gotten himself out.
Bobby, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Stay on top. I'm squatting again. Stay on top.
Nice job of heavy hips. He almost lost that position. Bobby Lee opening up now. He's got a chance.
Gave him his back late in the round.
Finish, Bobby. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Win this round. Win this round. Teach corner again.
I think that ship has sailed, but Bobby Lee certainly survived a lot of trouble.
Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Come on, for sure. Point out, point. Ready to seal this round, Bobby. Clean right.
I mean, keep in mind, Joey Davis dominated that fight, but couldn't finish him.
Yep. And you're seeing why.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably Bobby Lee's best moment.
Here's some of the action. You see Bach coming in, driving through. Wizard attempt by Bobby Lee. Bach doesn't go with it. Steps to the offside. See how he gets to it, making that Wizard not work. Then you got into the scramble area right here. He's got the figure four, but you notice that the foot is down. Once he gets the foot down, now you can move inside of it. If you do the techniques right that are going to work for you, you have a chance. It's when you try to make those same moves and you haven't done the right things, you're going to get stuck.
Seconds out, please. Seconds out.
You've seen fighters away a long layoff, an injury layoff, a year and a half. What is the hardest thing? What's the last thing that comes back?
The last thing that you really notice is their ability to counteract the speed. It's just it's faster in the cage in real life than it is in practice. I mean, he's be careful with that neck again. When he's dropping down, that's telling you there's some pressure on that.
Control. Elbow, tight Hafte. Tight Hafte. Über die Welt zu knä. Elbow, yes.
Traps the arm. Right arm up against the fence. Bobby Lee's got to get out of here.
Bobby's trying to power out. That's all strength, man. There's a lot of energy in that, but he at least gets his arm free. That was a very nice positional move by Sorenbach. Notice now he's in full mount. He's got those arms of Bobby Lee up high. He's letting him turn underneath him. Very impressed with the grappling pedigree of Sorenbach.
That figure four grip again. This is where most of the fight has been.
So you can only this is where Bobby Lee is strong. That strength starts to go away in the third round. And so if you're not using good technique, you can get to a point where you can't get yourself out of these positions like you did in the past.
I don't think Bobby Lee could pick Sorenbach out of the lineup right now because he hasn't seen his face for this entire fight.
I think you might be right there.
Remember, he had a beard? That's it.
Right now he's thinking that beard is Velcro on his back.
This is a lot of hours of difference in experience between these two.
It's just, there's differences in technique and someone's ability to actually control a position. You get out using a certain style every time. When you meet that one guy, you use that same style, it doesn't work.
One thing I really like about Bobby Lee, when you hear him talk, when you talk to him, he wants to face fighters who are more experienced than he is. He wants to face the top fighters because that's how you're going to get better. He's not concerned about the pristine record. This is, you're not going to get a better education, as painful as it may be, than this.
Yeah, right now, this is not what you call fun, but he's fighting his way through everything. So the one thing you really want to look, as the person that's watching the fight, I'm saying, you know what? I really like what I see out of Bobby Lee, because there's a lot of times when he can just say, I'm going to check out of this. He's in this fight, he's trying, and now he's in trouble.
Now he's in big trouble.
Good job of getting that arm off, that locking arm. And again, this is what I'm talking about. You'll see it at times, and you'll see guys check out of the fights. Bobby Lee is not doing that.
In minute 14, in which he's been largely dominating.
Oh, that's his opinion of what's happening in the fight right now.
No, that language could have been worse given the situation.
Could have. Again, he needs to turn towards his left to get that foot towards the ground. With that foot up high in the air, he's not going to get out of that position. Now he's got the ability to possibly turn within it.
Now it's just about the final minute. Did Bobby Lee, as he did with Joey Davis, can he make it all 15?
Go! Yes! Yes!
I'll tell you what, if you're Sorenbach and you're coming off the injury and you've had this long layoff and you wanted to have a dominant performance and open some eyes here at 155, you've done that.
Yes, you have. You've definitely come out and said, you know what, I am back, and I am going to be tough for anybody to deal with, especially on the ground.
I mean, he's back.
He is back. Beautiful display of being able to control position by Sorenbach. Again, switches that body triangle, putting that foot up.
As I learned from you, you can't score points playing defense. But at least he played defense for the 15 minutes.
Yes, he did.
Bobby Lee survives. Sorenbach impresses. And more wisdom imparted.
Bobby Lee knows, you know, and it's tough. You give it everything. You have a hard camp.
Young fighters don't know what they don't know.
Exactly it.
Until it gets stopped to you by a more experienced fighter.
This was the double leg takedown that Bobby Lee attempted, but he stuck his neck out there, and it ended up where, because of the pressure on his neck, he had to actually give himself to the ground to relieve that pressure. And then you saw the groundwork. He's trying to use the cage. That's smart. Sorenbach just rolling with that, not allowing it to take effect. That body triangle was a big part of him holding on to Bobby Lee throughout this fight, putting him in bad positions. Right here, Bobby Lee fighting off that rear naked choke, but he had no answer for the body triangle that Sorenbach used throughout the 3 rounds that we watched.
Imagine these numbers are going to be pretty lopsided.
Well, I think if you're looking at 75 strikes to 16 and a little bit of 7 minutes to 3 minutes of ground control, I think we know who's going to win this fight.
It looked very much like the end of a chess match. Check, move, check, 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 check. Sorenbach, we expect, will go to 15-1. And is this enough of a statement? Let's make it official first with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first, Marcel Varela, scores the fight 30-26, while judges Michael Murtha and Derek Cleary Both seed exactly the same, 29-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Soren, the true Viking Bomb.
A dominant performance for the true Viking. He's with John McCarthy.
Soren Bach, you can look at that camera all you want, but you got to talk to me. That was an outstanding performance. You put on a display of what good ground technique will do in a fight. Talk to me about that body triangle and what you were doing.
Yeah, so as I recall, there was a little more than, there was a few body triangles. I believe a mistake was probably to take the first one standing, because I still feel that in my legs. But I mean, I know I have a great ground control when I get the body triangle on the ground, so that if I see it, I take it, and I don't let go.
In the third round, you locked in a rear naked choke that was really close, and he was able to get that arm off. Did you think you had it?
Yeah, he was just slippery enough, and like I've been trying for like a few minutes to bait, engage, see if I can get the arm under the chin, because at that point in the fight, I hardly have enough punching power to really hurt him from that position, not to force in a choke that's not there. So always try to be sneaky, make him think of other things before you make your true attack.
Well, that puts you to 15-1. That was a beautiful performance. Congratulations on a big win here. Ladies and gentlemen, Soren Bach.
Soren Bach goes to 15-1. He says, I want to bring Bellator to Copenhagen. We'll see if he did enough to get himself into the top 10.
The Vikings are here! It's been more than 1,000 years since we came to these shores last time! Now we're here to stay! Yeah!
Come for the fight, stay for the end of Braveheart. Let's get to Jen Brown and Josh Thompson.
Got a little reminder of Dave Rickles a little bit there, the walkout and that was good. I like that. Hey, Soren Bach getting it done tonight, Josh. What do you think?
The Vikings are here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. That's great. I loved it. He's very impressive. I've called his fights over in the UK as well, and he was dominant there as well. He just has a really good knowledge of fight IQ. He knows how to control the pace. When he gets to the top position, he doesn't let it up. He's just very knowledgeable, and he's very smart when it comes to his fight IQ.
Yeah, moving to 15-1, 2-0 inside the Bellator cage. You got to hope that performance is good enough. I'm assuming he's hoping that it'll get him into those lightweight rankings.
It's going to be close, but I'd like to see him fight someone like an Adam Piccolotti or something like that to get him into that rankings.
All right. Well, speaking of lightweights, coming up later on tonight on our Showtime TV card, we've got the 6th ranked Sydney Outlaw. He's taking on the 4th ranked Miles Jury. Now, Jury, he's known for controlling the pace of his fights. Outlaw, he's that guy that likes to bring it. This is going to be an interesting one. What do you think?
Yeah, Miles Jury will slow it down, and Sydney Outlaw just has no pace. He just goes at you 100% and just tries to wrestle you and throws big shots. So it should make a great fight.
Well, he's won 10 of his last 11 fights. This fight against Adam Piccolotti, though, I mean, it was fantastic. How does he bring Jury into this type of fight tonight?
Well, look, it takes 2 to make a fight. You know, and Sydney Outlaw is someone that you can see with Adam Piccolotti here is they were getting after each other back and forth. They were scrambling around like 2 ferrets. Miles Jury does not fight like Adam Piccolotti. He slows the pace of the fight down. He makes the fighter fight at his pace using the proper technique. How can he get Sydney Outlaw, or how can Sydney Outlaw get Miles Jury out of his comfort zone? That's going to be the question tonight.
So let's flip it around then. How does Miles Jury not get pulled into that high volume, high pace kind of fight tonight?
I really couldn't tell you. To be honest, Sydney Outlaw, someone's just going to walk him down, throw big shots and try to wrestle. But Miles Jury is someone who will stand in front of you, trade shots. But he is a technician, and it's always hard to deal with somebody like that. Like, makes them fight at his pace, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. That's what happens when you're that good in the technique area.
All right, well, it's time to get a third opinion on how these two men matched up. We're going to head across the pond to Bellator's London office. Here's Gareth A. Davies.
Styles make fights, and Miles Jury faces Sydney Outlaw tonight in a lightweight matchup of skills to pay the bills. Jury, riding a 2-fight winning streak, spends his time away from the sport on his podcast advising on investments, but he will go all in tonight as he seeks a 20th career victory and a route towards a title shot against lightweight champion Patricio Pitbull. In the opposing corner, Outlaw is a durable, rounded fighter seeking his 16th career victory. Dagun's only loss to this point is to former champion Michael Chandler. He has 7 wins by submission, and he's coming off the back of a win against the dangerous Adam Piccolotti. Time for Jury to put his money where his mouth is, and the Outlaw to show how desperado he really can be.
All right, Gareth, and we're going to stay at 155, and we're going to continue that conversation about Patricio Pitbull and what happens after the biggest fight in Bellator history with A.J. McKee. But in the meantime, another interesting pro debut. Isaiah Hawkins' college wrestling career wasn't necessarily what he wanted it to be. He has been waiting for a brand new start, and tonight he will get it.
And now ready to make his way to the cage, Cory Lightning Wolf Samuels.
I learned the rules from the best. I learned them from John McCarthy when I first started in this venture. Cory Samuels' pro debut, his pro debut, he was losing the fight. He got up-kicked in the head and won by disqualification on the ground. I mean, some of those basic rules that you learn, right? And
some of those.
Learning experience for Cory Samuels, who gets a great opportunity here because pro debuts can be dicey. We've seen that firsthand.
Well, the one thing that Cory knows going into this fight, the one thing he knows is, oh, my opponent has a very good wrestling background, but he knows nothing else about him because, look, his opponent hasn't even had an amateur fight yet, so there's a lot of unanswered questions.
And now set to make his way, the Central Valley gangster, Isaiah Hawkins.
Big-time high school wrestler. College career didn't go the way he wanted it to go. He transferred from Drexel in Philadelphia to Fresno State, where his younger brother was really a star, an All-American wrestler. Actually made the 49ers last year, but Isaiah Hawkins had been looking ahead, even through his senior year in which he decided even not to wrestle, because this was always his dream. And it is fascinating to me, John, to watch a fighter, particularly a wrestler, making his pro debut.
I'll tell you what, Hawkins is a great wrestler. This is a 4-time state qualifier in California in high school. Drexel, then Fresno State. The kid can wrestle.
There's never an issue with a high-level wrestler making weight. Let's check out the tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape, the one thing you're looking at, look at Isaac Hawkins, 69-inch reach. Cory Samuels needs to use that length that he has to keep him off of him, keep him at bay with that jab. Don't let him get into wrestling.
Isaiah Hawkins turns pro to Michael C. Williams.
Welcome to all those joining us from the UK tonight live on BBC iPlayer as we continue the Bellator 261 prelims with lightweights set now for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 156 pounds even. His professional record early on stands at 2-2. He fights out of Pompano Beach, Florida, Cory Lightning Wolf Samuels. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 155 3/4 pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional MMA debut fighting out of Huntington Beach by way of Clovis, California, the Central Valley gangster, Isaiah Hawkins.
Yeah, let's go.
And the referee in charge, Brian Miner.
Butterflies right now.
You ready? You ready? Yeah, fight!
Nice one.
Oh my goodness. In the opening seconds, Isaiah Hawkins' pro debut is over.
Let's go! Let's go! It's over, it's over. Let's go!
That's what I was talking about. You want to use that length? That's exactly what Cory Samuels did. Beautiful combination, 1-2, and then step back and did it one more time. That was a 10-second knockout. I believe that's tied for the 4th fastest in Bellator history. That was fast.
Here is the full fight.
Let's watch the full fight.
A perfect combination.
That beautiful straight left, right hook. And then he comes back, he does it one more time. There's that left hand that does all the damage. And then comes down with the hammer fist. Hawkins was still there at this point. He got stunned.
That one
and he goes out. That left hand hits perfect. You can see how he is just frozen going down. Kind of wakes up a little bit when he hits the ground. Cory Samuels puts him back out. This is why, you know, when you talk about guys coming from wrestling backgrounds and all these things, this is not wrestling, this is fighting. And, you know, Cory Samuels knew that taking this fight. Oh, yeah, this guy's probably a better wrestler, but it's fighting. This is MMA. I don't have to worry about wrestling.
It's his 5th MMA fight, but an extensive background in kickboxing and Muay Thai for Cory Samuels, and it was on display for 10 seconds. As he gets the first knockout win of his career.
They call me lightning. It happened so fast.
For Isaiah Hawkins, nowhere to go but up. Michael C. Williams makes it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 10 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout, Cory Lightning Wolf Samuels.
You know you've had a good night when your interview with John McCarthy is longer than your fight.
Cory Samuels, somehow I think this interview might go longer than that fight. That was 10 seconds. That is the 4th fastest finished knockout in Bellator history. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Talk to me about what you saw.
Well, I knew I had the better striking. We just tried to prepare more so for wrestling. But honestly, I wanted to end it with a head kick, but my shins kind of messed up. So I said, let's just box a little bit. Let's see where it goes. And, you know, and that's how I did it.
Box you did. You hit him with a left and a right hook, but then came back with that straight left hand, and it landed flush, couple of hammer fists. Did you know when he went down, I'm going to finish this right now?
Yeah, at first I thought he was just out for a second, but I was like, I'm not going to stop until the ref stops me.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful performance. Congratulations on your Bellator debut.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cory Samuels.
Can I also give a shout out? I'd like to give a shout out to all the people that supported me. Fight Sports, Deerfield, we're here. Thank you, Coach Daniel. Thank you, Jensen. Thank you, Kenley. Thank you, Scooter. I love you guys.
Normally, we're not big on the shout-outs, but when we have time to fill, when you have a 10-second knockout. So 2 minutes and 43 seconds on the post-fight interview, a 10-second knockout win for Cory Samuels in Isaiah Hawkins' pro debut.
Cory, we're going to be going this way. Just give us some time, and then we're going to go right up this way, bud.
I would go to Jen Brown and Josh Thompson, but I got to make sure you guys are ready.
We're ready for you, Sean. I love it. Well, hey, look, you know, we talk to fighters all the time when they're making their Bellator debut, Josh. They say, hey, look, I want to come out and make a statement. That is how you come out and make a statement right there.
It was a great performance, great fight. Hawkins, I feel bad for him. He comes from the area that I'm from. He's that Fresno State area there. And so, yeah, upsetting event, but he'll be back. Young kid, but dominant performance. Nice piece up. Great job.
That was a great job. And you hear the fans there cheering for him, which is nice, again, to note. We have fans back in with us, putting on a performance for them tonight. But look at this. That's left just connected solid.
What I liked is he didn't hesitate. He jumped on his opponent and finished him. Some young opponents will just walk away, put their hands up thinking they won the fight. That would have given Hawkins a chance to get back in the fight. I'm glad he didn't do that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Bellator 261 is underway as we count down to our main card at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Showtime. Now it is headlined by Bellator's first interim title. It's a clash of the heavyweight titans Tim Johnson and Valentin Moldavsky for the heavyweight interim title. Now that is just one of 5 fights on this stack card tonight. Now the second, it pairs a veteran with an undefeated submission machine. And to break that down, here's Bellator's London spokesman, Gareth Davies.
Daniel Weichel meets Keone Diggs tonight in a featherweight bout that pits a hardened veteran against an ambitious, unbeaten fighter. Hawaiian Diggs, 2-0 in Bellator, both wins by submission, and 9-0 overall, is a product of John Crouch's MMA lab and has finished 7 of his victims inside the distance. Meanwhile, 52-fight veteran Weichel from Germany is on a 1-win and 3-defeat skid, which included defeats to champion Patricio Pitbull and Emmanuel Sanchez in the Bellator Featherweight Grand Prix. Here's a huge opportunity for Diggs to climb into the stacked 145-pound rankings, but he will have to employ his great ground game, gas tank, and aggressiveness and take it to the 2-time featherweight world title challenger.
Well, Josh, I know you've said that you are really looking forward to this fight. So let's talk Keone Diggs. He is undefeated. So what has impressed you most about him in his most recent fights?
Well, he's relatively young in the sport. Even though he's 34 years old, he's undefeated. He's trying to get to be 10-0. He's got power. He's got heavy hips. He's got good wrestling. He's obviously got submissions because both of his fights have went by submission. And so when he gets to the back, he gets on your neck, and it's all over. Physically, he is strong. The one thing that kind of has me a little concerned, this is his first time to 145.
And he did have a little trouble getting to 145. He needed a little extra time at weigh-ins to make that weight. So how do you think that is going to maybe be a factor in tonight's fight?
Well, like he said when we talked to him this week in the fighter meetings, he said, look, I've been dealing with guys at 155. And like, getting the weight there is fine. He's like, I'm good. I feel good. But then, like you said, he did struggle a little bit. And then one thing that does concern me in that position is that this fight will potentially get to the 3rd round. And you will tend to slow down if you had a hard time making weight.
Well, let's talk about his opponent, Daniel Weichel. He has so much experience, especially compared to Diggs' only 9 pro fights. 52 for Daniel Weichel. How can he use that experience to play to his favor in the cage tonight?
Well, if I'm Daniel Weichel, what I do is I remember that he had a hard time making weight, so I try to drag him into deeper waters. And Daniel Weichel is one of those experienced veterans that can do things like that. He likes to slow the tempo of the fight down. He possesses power in his hands. He possesses the takedown ability and the takedown defense, as well as kicks, as you can see right there with Saul Rogers. He is very dynamic. He is someone that is such a technician. I think he's probably one of the best technicians in Bellator. He knows how to slow the tempo of the fight down to drag Keone Diggs into the later rounds. If he can do that, we'll find out if Keone is going to have some problems in that 3rd round.
But Weichel, do you feel like he's coming in with something to prove in this fight?
Look, when you've been fighting as long as he has been fighting, he has nothing more to prove. He's a stud. He's fought for the title a couple times. He's come up short, but look who he's come up short against. Okay, Patricio Pitbull. It happens. Everyone knows when you deal with Patricio Pitbull, he is not like other fighters. And so for him, no, he has nothing more to prove. But he definitely doesn't want to leave a notch on his belt for this guy, for Keone Diggs to be put on.
Absolutely. Hey, you've got me excited about this one. Possible fight of the night?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be fight of the night.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see these two throw down later tonight on Showtime. Now let's get back to the fight action. Grandy, back over to you.
All right, guys. We have Grand Prix fever, right? We've gone through the heavyweight Grand Prix and light heavyweight Grand Prix. 135 could get interesting. Sergio Pettis, the champion. Magomedov looks so good. Jalen Bates won his name on that list.
And now set to make his way to the cage, this is Cody Matthews.
Another high-level wrestler from that part of the country, Montgomery, Maryland, half hour east of Morgantown, West Virginia. Make his mark. And we spend so much time, John, talking about the prospects. And one of the things about Bellator the last few years is seeing fighters try to learn in their 2nd fight, in their 3rd fight, in their 4th fight, and putting a spotlight on them. You often forget that those learning moments for the young fighters with all the prospect attention on them are huge opportunities for the fighters that nobody is talking about, like Cody Matthews.
That's exactly, because if you're Cody Matthews coming in here, you got nothing to lose. You're coming in here saying, you know what, no one expects me to win. I'm a good wrestler. I have shown that I've got submission skills. All I have to do is fight my fight, and I have a chance. Jalen Bates, that's a pretty tall order to go up against, though, because that man is good.
And now his opponent, Jalen New Breed Bates.
We just saw Isaiah Hawkins struggle, which is a nice way to say it, in his pro debut, making it in Bellator at this level. Jalen Bates is already 2 fights down that road. He got a ton of attention for his submission win because of how spectacular it was. Last time out, he had the perfect amateur record, as you see there. And when we talk about the blue chippers, this is a guy who's, it doesn't take long when you look at the Bellator roster for this name to jump near the top of the list.
There's just everything about him. You look at this kid at 135 pounds, 5'10". We talk about the new style and body style for MMA. This kid's got long levers, and here is this fight against Jeffrey Glasner. Take a look, sinks in the choke, just nice and easy. Look at that bend on it, gets the tap. Beautiful neck crank choke. He has got the full game. He's good at the stand-up, his wrestling's outstanding, and he's got great submissions.
To stay unbeaten, climb the ladder, and suddenly very crowded bantamweight division. Let's check out the tail of the tape.
For this bantamweight matchup, the one thing you got to look at is what I was talking about with Jalen Bates. Look at that height advantage, but look at the reach. 73.5 to 64. That is a huge advantage. We'll see if Cody Matthews can overcome that.
To Michael C. Williams.
And for those that have just joined us here inside Mohegan Sun Arena Live for the Bellator 261 prelims, we welcome you. Good to have you back as we get set now for 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'3", weighing in 135 pounds. His professional record early on stands at 1-1. He fights out of Lonaconing, Maryland. Please welcome Cody Matthews. And across the cage is adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 136 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated at 2-0. He fights out of Portland, Oregon, Jalen Bates. And the referee in charge, Brian Miner.
Jalen Bates talks a lot about his time at American top team in Portland, and that's another part to me of the evolution. Just even in the last 5 to 10 years is that a young fighter almost always had to go somewhere else. You got to go to California, you got to go, but now the levels are moving up around the country. You don't necessarily have to leave home.
Well, there are good schools and good trainers everywhere. You just have to believe in that person that you're with. As long as you believe that they can get you to that level, you're in good hands. Go after him. Here comes Jalen Bates again, out wrestling. Beautiful takedown, going straight to heavy elbows.
He didn't have it on the first one, didn't give up on it. Just, I'm going to go forward here. Lonaconing, Maryland. I'm going to guess the dinner's on me if you can come up with the sports icon from Lonaconing, Maryland.
Boy, I'm going to lose on that one.
Lefty Grove. Lefty Grove. Nice. Lonaconing. Yeah, the kick. Again, you're talking about the reach and the look at the two of them together. Look at the size difference of these guys in the same weight class.
And that's what I'm talking about. We talk about body styles that work in MMA. And you're looking at it. You're looking at that long guy, the John Jones type, the guy with long levers that he can do so much with those long levers as far as hooking up chokes from different locations and different positions. It's almost unfair.
For those leg kicks, Jalen Bates says, well, let's get this right back down here. And you see behind them, you see Juliana Velasquez on the poster for her title defense here in 3 weeks. When she got in the cage with Alima Lay, you were struck by the size difference between them and the longer body, and that was a huge part of it.
Again, that's what we're talking about. It's not that if you're a shorter fighter, less reach, you can't win. It's just that there are advantages to having those long levers.
Left elbow, buddy. Great space to get that underhook. Come on, he's flying on side. Don't let it recover. Don't let it recover.
Nice half guard position. You see him posting up. That posture is super important. You're seeing Cody trying to bring those legs into play. Jalen just lets him up.
Didn't have time to ask this about Isaiah Hogan, but when you see a fighter for the first time you see, what is the first thing you are looking for in a young fighter?
The first first thing you're looking for is someone to have composure, in my opinion. Someone that can go in and not overextend, not make mistakes right away, and let the fight start to play out. Don't think that you have to win it in the first seconds of the fight, which Cody Matthews did, but you know, the composure of a young fighter is everything.
When you see when you're on the ground in a position like this, and all of a sudden you're okay, I'm okay here. That's got to take time to learn.
It does, because there's a lot of pressure on you. Nice movement by Jalen Bates into that full mount. Now he's got the back.
There you go. Yep.
It's not that Cody Matthews is not doing some good things in this fight. It's just that Jalen Bates is just one step ahead of him in most of it. He's getting the takedowns when he wants. He's getting the positions. He's the one that's landing strikes. Cody's getting out at times, but he's not being able to really amount much offense.
Stronger, faster, has the longer levers. Has the other than that. Again, here trying to use his height, even to go for this, because he's got the height advantage.
He had a choke there for a second. You saw how he was cranking that head over. And that was a beautiful move by Cody to reverse the position, but Jalen just went right with it, got himself up right into being the one that's attacking with the submission attack. See it right here, just the knees to the inside of the leg. Then he switches it to the outside. Just very composed, very calm, systematic breakdown of his opponent.
Sometimes you see young fighters, you and I both watched every fight A.J. McKee had from the beginning. Sometimes when you have so many things in your bag, you want to show them when you don't have to.
One of the things young guys always want, they want to be flashy, they want to be flamboyant, they want that big knockout. If you're searching for it, trying for it, usually it's not going to happen. It's when you just fight, it'll come.
Jalen Bates is seeing these takedown opportunities immediately.
Get them out of position. Start kneeing in the body. Knee in the body.
Jalen Bates not only obliges, he wound up on that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, with sore ribs that I have, that hurt.
So you will not be in the Tour de France.
No, I will.
That official?
I will not.
So close.
Giving up my lumberjack career.
Knee right, short time. 15 seconds.
Some heavy knee strikes by Jalen Bates. Yeah, Cody's doing a great job here of working hard, but it's just, you see that Jalen's the one controlling the fight.
Through one. No fight-ending moments. We're not in 10-8 territory, are we? In that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, there was a lot of things going on, but there was a lot that he was getting out.
Part of the
as far as how much, he was letting him up at times, which was giving up positions, and a lot of judges are going to look and say, well, you're giving up a position, to try to get the takedown again. Okay, but you were already there.
So you let him up.
Here's Bates driving in for the first takedown. Picks him up. You see Cody trying to put his pressure back towards the Wizard. Doesn't work. Right away, elbows from the top position. Just good, heavy strikes. Knees on the ground, to the body, to the legs. Just everywhere that they were at, Jalen Bates was just a step ahead. Watch this knee right here to the ribs. That hurt. That does not feel good.
You rarely see a windup from that spot.
That was Mark Coleman-esque in Pride fighting against Igor Vovchanchyn.
Get that kick going with some legs. Keep it back, bud. Keep it back. Yes. That's good.
And now look at how square Cody Matthews is when he's getting into this position here, which only opens him up to more strikes, to a different style. It's just not good. And the problem is he's having a problem with the length of Jalen.
He's really having trouble measuring.
One guy missing by a couple inches while the other one is connected.
Another very difficult part when you're fighting regionals. How Cook's short left.
You saw how it just, beautiful knee, beautiful left hand. He is hurt, he's stunned right now.
Comes forward against those kind of a wild right. Too strong. But if you're Cody Matthews in Maryland, where do you find someone to simulate a guy like Jay? Where are you going to find an elite athlete to spar against, to fight against? And that's another huge disadvantage.
Yeah, you're going to have a very hard time. You're talking very few people are that length at this weight. You're talking about guys like Darian Caldwell. They're few and far between.
Left elbow over the hand, over the top of the hand.
Love the fact that Cody Matthews open guard, putting the feet on the hips. That way he can try to push off, go for a submission.
That's it, control the arms. There you go. You play ground pound, he's trying to triangle, he's trying to set up the triangle. There you go. Now look to grab that if you can. Use your left hand to grab his right arm. That's it. Get that elbow across your chest, brother. Watch on the arm bar. You gotta free that. That elbow across your chest, and look for the sweep.
You can hear Fabiano Cerner talking about the arm, but it's because you look at Jalen Bates' left arm as it's getting closer, going past that center point. It can end up being a position where you can get arm bar.
Kick the leg.
Jalen Bates is going to stay on those legs as long as Cody Matthews lets him.
Beautiful side kick.
He's got a lot of weapons.
Back down. Cody Matthews is trying with everything he has. And just right now, he can't figure out this puzzle.
Let's get that cross grip in the wrist.
And right now, honestly, the best place for him, even though he's got his back to the ground, he's taking less damage when he's in the grounded position right now. So this is not a bad place for him.
Now free your left arm. Now to the other side. He's going to try to set the choke. You're moving forward, moving to the mouth.
It's almost the only way this fight's going to be on the ground is if Jalen Bates puts it on the ground.
Jalen Bates right now has the ability. He's in what we call three-quarter mount. He's got the ability to slide his leg out, come out and mount, go for that arm bar right now.
That's what he's thinking about.
Multitude of attacks in this position.
Slides into full mount.
Keep that dog. Keep him trained. Push him back. Don't roll. Don't roll. Push him back. Push him back.
Again, that arm is in that position. There you go. Going for it. Beautiful job of stepping over into an overpower straight arm.
That's it. That was a performance right there.
Beautiful setup by Jalen to get that submission. He made his opponent go in the direction that he knew he had to go and just flowed right into the arm bar.
Here, Cody Matthews corner. Don't roll, don't roll, don't.
It's done.
Watch this setup.
You see how he's controlling the arm here, but then he steps through, going forward. Watch his leg come around the head. Okay, he can fall back right now, but no, he decides to twist it into a position where it's actually being a shoulder crank, and he knows that he's got to flow with that crank or it's going to work. And he knows that as soon as he starts to flow, I'm going to go straight into the arm bar. Beautiful job. Controls that arm right into the arm bar, catches him, and that's when you're a step behind, that's how you get caught.
Jalen Bates stays undefeated now as a pro and an amateur, 10 times in the cage and 10 wins, 3-0 as a pro, all inside the Bellator cage, and he is showing us more and more with every single win. And that's a game young fighter in Cody Matthews. He was just outmatched from the start. Michael C. Williams makes it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap comes by way of an armbar. Official time, 4 minutes, 4 seconds, round number 2. The winner by submission, still undefeated, Jalen Bates.
wrote in his journal before the last fight that he was going to win by submission. I wonder what his journal read this time. Jalen Bates goes to 3-0. He's with John McCarthy.
John, what up? Jalen Bates, let's talk about that performance, because you were all over the place. You had beautiful takedowns. You had great top position. But you liked letting him to get back up so you could use your strikes. Talk to me about what you were thinking.
I was going for the knockout. I told everyone I was going to get a knockout, so I wanted to go out there and test myself, test my stand-up. I didn't feel like he had anything for me on the feet, but I just want to keep letting him up and see eventually I knew he'd break.
In that one portion of the round, did you believe that you might get him out when you landed a beautiful left hand and then a high kick to the head?
Yeah, I definitely felt my stand-up starting to start flowing, and I had a nice stand-up, so I wanted to get it going a lot more, but we got the finish. And
well, let's talk about the flow, because it was the flow on the ground and that beautiful transition. You set him up by going to the shoulder crank, knowing he's going to have to roll, and you went right into the arm bar. Talk to me about it.
Me and my coaches, we work a lot on that. We work a lot on the ground in jiu-jitsu, mainly in our transitions, strike, take him down, get him out of the game. So
I'll tell you what, that was an unbelievable performance. You were dominant. You looked fantastic. Congratulations on a beautiful win. Can't wait to watch you next. Ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Bates.
Bantamweight is getting crowded in Bellator. Pettis, Archuleta, Magomedov looks so good his last time out. You still have Leandro Higo. You still have Gallagher. Darian Caldwell could drop down to bantamweight when he wants. And don't look now, but that young man is coming. 24 years old, and Jalen Bates goes to 3-0. To the fight desk, Jen and Josh, that was impressive.
It was so impressive. And Josh, you and Big John talked about it on your podcast, and the Weighing In podcast that I listened to this week. You said this kid's a stud. He's the real deal. He delivered tonight.
Yeah, he delivered. I mean, not only did he deliver on the wrestling, he delivered on the feet as well. And his transitions on his submissions are on point. The one thing I was concerned about is he was getting a lot of takedowns. And as the fight goes on, you get scared. Like, he's going to run out of gas. He's putting out too much effort, because young fighters just don't know how to control themselves. They just want to do so much. Like Big John was talking about earlier, he said sometimes they try too hard. But with the skill level which he possesses, he just had all the answers everywhere that his opponent went. Great stuff, especially like these transitions here. He throws the leg over, and when he rolled all the way through, he knew his opponent only had one way to go, and he kept the control of the wrist so he could direct him wherever he wanted once he threw the leg over the head. Nicely done.
Nicely done. When we heard Sean Grandy just talk about that stacked bantamweight division, hey, at 3-0 that he is now, with his record and that performance, he's putting that bantamweight division on notice, I'd have to say.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door to get into that top 10, but he's going to have to get a win over a top 10 opponent to slide in there.
All right, well, great job out there. Okay, well, if you want to catch up on past fights 24/7, you can do that now on the Bellator Pluto TV channel. There's no passwords, no payments. You just drop in and enjoy the show. It's available now on your favorite devices, and you just look for us in the sports category. All right, well, Friday, July 16th, the women's flyweight world title is on the line as the undefeated champion, Juliana Velasquez, will defend her belt for the first time against the 4th-ranked Denise Kielholtz. And, of course, tonight we've got the 3rd-ranked Liz Carmouche. She's taking on Kana Watanabe there in the 4 spot. Both women looking to come out and make a big statement tonight with a win. So, Josh, let's talk about Liz Carmouche. What does she need to do to establish herself as the #1 contender?
She needs to get a finish. And I know she got one in her first fight, but in her second fight against Porto, she just didn't do enough. She could have got Porto out of there. She didn't do it. Look, I have nothing but respect for Liz Carmouche, but she sometimes lacks the sense of urgency to get their opponent out of there. And if you're a promoter, you're thinking to yourself, I need to see someone to get a finish. In her first fight, she got the finish against Bennett. She did a great job of getting to the back and finishing the 3rd round. But I want to remind people, that fight was close. It was a 1-1 round going into the 3rd. She knew she needed a finish, especially in her debut. But then she went to the second fight against Porto. She didn't look impressive. She even talked about how she didn't seem it wasn't impressive. So she needs to get a finish if she wants to be next in line for a title shot. As a promoter, that's key and that's important.
That's what they're looking for. Well, Kana Watanabe, she's undefeated. She's never tasted defeat in her 11 pro fights. She has a black belt in judo. She comes from a long line of black belts in her family. So what kind of problems does that present for a black belt in jiu-jitsu for Liz?
I wouldn't say it poses a lot of threats, but what it does is it changes up the game a little bit, because judo players are still good on the ground as well. Their hip tosses, all those things, and their transition from the throw to the submissions is really accelerated in the sport of judo. And so what she does is when she throws you, she knows how to get to the top position. When she gets on top, she's really heavy. And Alejandra Lara found that out in her last fight against her. Once she got on top, once Watanabe got on top, she had no way of getting out from the bottom. And that's what she needs to do again tonight against Liz Carmouche.
All right, well, that is our co-main event. It is coming up later on tonight on Showtime. But for more on how both of these women match up, once again, here's Gareth Davies to break it all down for us.
A thriller in store here in the women's flyweight division as number 2 ranked Liz Carmouche goes to battle against number 3 ranked Kana Watanabe. Former Marine Corps helicopter technician Carmouche, who served 3 tours of duty in the Middle East, is 2-0 since joining Bellator and brings heavy hands and great submission skills. The undefeated Watanabe of Japan, however, has 2 wins herself under the Bellator banner, including a fine victory by split decision last time out against Alejandra Lara. She's tough, tenacious, and very, very talented with both her judo background and improved striking. So much at stake here in what is essentially an eliminator to challenge for the women's Bellator flyweight crown. From London, back to you.
Well, thanks, Gareth. Hey, Bellator 261 continues to roll on here at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. We've got more prelim action coming up right after this break. Stick around. Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
Hot off the biggest year of his career.
Johnson just clocked 4 seconds.
Number 1 heavyweight contender Tim Johnson brings his hellacious right hand to a clash against counter-striker Valentin Moldavsky.
It has been domination by Moldavsky.
Riding a 5-fight winning streak. The quest for the interim heavyweight title is on. Bellator MMA, live tonight on Showtime, where warriors rule.
That is the main event later on. Jen and Josh are talking about something very interesting, which is that women's flyweight situation. And something we're going to be talking about a lot tonight, which is wins and losses versus performances, as far as who's next and who is climbing the ladder now with so many of these divisions so competitive as we move now to middleweight, to 185. A lot of people asking what's going on with Gegard Mousasi. I hate to be that guy, but stay tuned later on. I promise you we will have some news. Taylor Johnson trying to follow up his big win last time out in the meantime.
Welcome to the cage, the boogeyman, Lance Wright.
Michael C. Williams enjoyed that. See him lean into the nickname on that one. Boogeyman Lance Wright. His trainer gave him that name because he said, you look spooky.
I'll tell you what, he is the boogeyman.
Got that look.
And the reason he's the boogeyman, I'm telling you right now, Sean, is when you watch him fight, nothing affects him. He just keeps coming forward. He is durable. He's gritty. He is tough. He is a handful for anybody.
He's one of many fighters that had COVID during the pandemic and said, yeah, I had mild symptoms, and then it went away. So, like, he even scared COVID away. Spent a lot of his time up in Denver at Elevation.
Well, he's training with great guys. He's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he's got really good submissions for MMA. And he loves to attack the neck. If he gets a chance of getting your neck, look out. He's going to try to take it home.
And now, set to make his way to Tombstone, Taylor Johnson.
The question is always, are you for real or are you a one-hit wonder? Because you submit Ed Ruth, that puts you on the map. That's a big-time victory. But what's going to happen next to Taylor Johnson is really the question.
Well, there's no doubt. He submitted Ed Ruth with a hook in under a minute, but then he came back against Johnny Eblen, and Johnny Eblen just was dynamite against him. Here's Ed Ruth taking Taylor Johnson down. He goes right towards that leg, looks for the heel hook. Ed Ruth waits too long. He gets caught in a position where eventually Taylor Johnson is able to put a lot of pressure down on that, puts a lot of torque on that knee, gets the tap out.
Long-time Bellator fans will remember in this building, Cyborg Santos did that to Brennan Ward very early in the fight to a wrestler, very similar to what Taylor Johnson did to Ed Ruth. How do you follow it up? That's the question. Let's check out the tail of the tape as we move to 185.
Real simple. Taylor Johnson coming into this one 6-2. He needs that next win to move up into the standings. Lance Wright 5-1, wanting to make his mark here in the Bellator cage.
As we move up to Michael C. Williams.
Tonight's prelims live in the UK on BBC iPlayer. We thank those for joining us. And we go now to the middleweight division set. For 3 5-minute rounds, we introduce first the blue corner. At 6'2", weighing in 184 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins, 1 loss, fighting out of Lakewood, Colorado by way of Syracuse, Indiana, the Boogeyman, Lance Wright. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 185 1/4 pounds. As a professional, 6 wins, 2 losses, fighting out of Sisters, Oregon, introducing Tombstone Taylor Johnson. And the referee in charge, Brian Miner.
The jiu-jitsu of Lance Wright versus the wrestling of Taylor Johnson.
Ready? Ready? Come on, fight! Stay long, stay strong, he's southpaw. Take it high right. And keep breathing, take it high right. Don't wait too long, not ready for it.
That was a hard leg check right there. That hurt both guys, and that's why you see Taylor Johnson moving back off of that kick. Threw a good kick, but it was checked well. You heard that thud.
We're seeing more and more of the injuries, those devastating injuries, come off exactly that.
We've had some very nasty injuries, even here in the Bellator cage. Leg kicks when it lands in a wrong spot, usually somewhere towards the knee, so the femur is involved. There's no give, and if you kick hard enough, you end up breaking your own leg.
Tracio Pitbull, Ben Henderson.
Beautiful job of getting inside of Taylor Johnson.
This is where Lance Wright is dangerous. That's right, hanging on to the leg, and he paid a price for doing that.
He definitely paid the price. Those are some heavy shots by Taylor Johnson.
You're wondering why you rarely see that. That's why.
There you go. That
That's right, wanted to turn him on the fence. Not the sexiest topic in MMA, but we're going to be talking about cage control as we get towards the main event.
Yeah, one of the things that you're seeing right now, though, is if you're looking at just their body language and how they're going about this fight right now, Taylor Johnson is a lot more relaxed in his approach and the techniques that he's throwing out right now than Lance is.
Why did you say that? What did you see that made you say that?
You can just watch as he'll take and he'll give a shrug while Lance is trying to muscle Taylor Johnson into position. Taylor Johnson is taking and using a technique and then moving his feet and getting the position that he wants. Nice right hand by Lance, though.
Slow him down.
Hey.
Nice. Shoulder pressure.
Did you see that Big movement.
Go around the corner.
Back ahead. Round the corner, buddy. Round the corner. Let's keep moving.
An odd place for Taylor Johnson to try to go for that takedown. Exactly. He's having a room.
What he just did was beautifully done. He's going to go for the arm right now.
Get it. Get it. Get on the back. Lock him out.
Yeah, he's letting go of the arm so he can take the back. It's palm to palm.
Yep.
There's a lot of power in Taylor Johnson.
High. Now he's under the chin.
He's in trouble.
That's it. Sportsmanship comes in different forms. How did this happen?
This happened based upon beautiful movement. Gets to the outside, gets to that wizard that you see Lance Wright trying to work with, so he steps over to go for the armbar. That makes Lance move, and when he does, he lets go of the arm, takes the back, and just quickly locks that arm around the neck. He went for the Mataleon, bringing that arm across, and realized, nope, I'm going to go palm to palm. I've got a lot of gas right now. It's early in the fight. You're dry. I'm going to make this work. Beautiful squeeze right here. You can see that pressure on the neck. Lance Wright can't take it, has to tap out.
Earlier we talked about young fighters struggling as to when to make transitions. This is the difference when you get a 30-year-old in his 9th pro fight.
Absolutely. Set that up beautifully.
I swear I have a good mouth. My mama taught me well. My ass have to answer for the things I say. So, do better, huh?
So you get MMA wisdom and life wisdom imparted by Tombstone Taylor Johnson. He goes to 7-2. He gets that second win in Bellator.
He's like, stand it! I like how they went with that photo.
Let's make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rear naked choke brings on the tap officially. 2 minutes, 58 seconds into round number 1. The winner by submission, Tombstone Taylor Johnson.
7 professional wins for Taylor Johnson, all finishes, and he's with John McCarthy.
Oh, no, I forgot.
Taylor Johnson, you came out here, you were very relaxed in this fight, especially considering what you went through in the last fight. Completely different body structure as far as the way you were going through the fight. Beautiful transition. Talk to me about what you did in coming into this fight to prepare.
Big changes this last camp. I brought my body weight down a lot. Generally, I'm a decent sized, thick guy. Brought my body weight down close to 10 pounds. Really focusing on the cardio. I'm focusing on relaxing. You know, some of these guys coming here, I'm a big muscle-bound guy. I like to just, you know, put the foot on the gas pedal, but you got to come out and be smart out here. And I thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Now, you were smart, and one of the things that I saw, he was trying to muscle you around, and you were just like, okay, and using technique to put him where you wanted. Talk to me about that finish when you switched from the armbar, take his back, and went for the rear naked choke.
Honestly, man, it happened pretty damn fast. I train these positions so much. Train these positions so much that you know, it's second nature when you fall in there. He had a pretty strong neck when I was squeezing on him. I'm like, how much time's left? Am I going to get tired here? But I was able to pull it off, man.
You made the decision to not go for the Mataleon. You started to and then went palm to palm. Why?
I just feel like I can get a lot more pressure there. What's that called? The fulcrum choke, or that finish there. I feel like you can get a lot more pressure, you know, depending on your build. But right there, sitting back, baby.
Well, congratulations on a beautiful victory. That puts you right back into contention in the 185-pound class. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Johnson.
X's and O's and W's for Taylor Johnson. He goes to 7-2. He's always said, if I don't finish you, it's not really a win. No, this was really a win in less than 3 minutes.
Thank you guys so much.
To the fight desk, to Jen and Josh.
Well, thanks, Sean. Hey, we just heard John talk about the middleweight rankings there, Josh. You know, he beat Ed Ruth. He's ranked at number 9. Is this a good enough a performance to maybe get him knocking on the door?
I think it's a great performance. You know, he's got back on the winning track now, and I think he's making his way up to that ranking system. Yeah, he did beat Ed Ruth. That was Ed Ruth's last fight as well. So I don't see why he wouldn't be in the rankings. But we don't control the rankings.
That's right, we do not. Let's talk about what you saw. We talked about he's a good wrestler and great submission skills, and we saw that tonight.
Yeah, he puts the two things together very well. So what he does, he likes to get in on the takedown, gets the takedowns right from the takedowns. He goes right to transitions. He likes a lot of the leg attacks, which he's really good at. But this time, decided to get to the back, take the neck. It's always a safe bet when you get on the neck, and I love that position a lot more. There's less jeopardy of getting hit, and I don't like to get hit.
Nobody wants to get hit. All right, well, these guys delivering tonight. I love it. With Showtime Sports, we are doubling down this weekend, serving you guys 2 incredible fight nights. Now tomorrow night, Showtime pay-per-view host superstar Gervonta Davis as he looks to become a 3-division world champion when he faces undefeated super lightweight champ Mario Barrios. That's tomorrow at 9 Eastern on Showtime pay-per-view. But tonight, you will get to see Bellator's first ever interim battle while the champ, Ryan Bader, is busy fighting his way up the ranks in the light heavyweight world Grand Prix. The interim heavyweight belt is available. Now it is Tim Johnson versus Valentin Moldavsky on Showtime. And if you look at the rankings, look, it's crystal clear, Josh. These two guys, they are matched. Why they're matched up? You got Johnson, he's number 1. Moldavsky, he's number 3. Even though like I said, Ryan Bader is currently making his way through that light heavyweight world Grand Prix. He did sit down with us, though, to give us his thoughts on tonight's matchup. Let's take a listen.
I see a void in the heavyweight division right now with me being in this light heavyweight Grand Prix. There's some very talented guys out there. But at the end of the day, we got our eyes on Moldavsky and Tim Johnson. We're fighting for the interim title. That fight is interesting. Tim is more of a brawler. He can knock you out. He's a good wrestler. He's kind of unpredictable. And Moldavsky is, I believe, a all-around better mixed martial artist. But I feel Tim Johnson is riding this wave. He has that confidence now. He has that knockout power. And he is not afraid to wrestle. So what I see is kind of a battle of wills of who wants to have the chance to fight and unify the heavyweight championship of the world. So, good luck, boys. All eyes are on you, and I'm ready to face the winner.
So let's talk about that confidence that Bader just mentioned he's seen in Tim Johnson. We talked about it with him this week. He attributes, he's on that 3-fight win streak to, settling in at Extreme Couture and the guys that he's trading with there. So what have you seen in these last 3 fights that makes you believe that he can get the win tonight?
First, let's talk about Ryan Bader real quick. Yeah. All class. Great.
I know, I love it.
That was great. I thought it was a great promo into this, and I think it was great that he broke down this fight. The biggest thing is Tim Johnson, what he needs to do is just needs to go out there, impose his will, get on top of Moldavsky, make him carry that weight, use that size to his advantage, and then put the pressure on him. If he gets to that top position, he's going to be able to potentially hold Moldavsky down. The longer the fight goes, the harder it is for heavyweights to get up off their back. And once Tim Johnson gets on top of you, as you can see with Czech Congo here, he's laying down the leather. He does not pull his punches. He lets it all go, and that's what you're looking from heavyweights right now.
Well, that was a rematch win for him there against Czech Congo in Paris, right, I believe, correct?
Yes, it was.
All right, so let's talk about Valentin Moldavsky because he has put together an impressive 5-0 record inside the Bellator cage. So what's impressed you most about what you've seen in these performances, Joshua?
What has not impressed me about this guy? Moldavsky is a stud. I mean, he's fast, he's quick, he's great sambo, good takedowns. I mean, he's good on top. He is a fighter that goes everywhere. He's one of those new age heavyweights. So they're a little bit lighter in weight. They're not that big, but they're faster. They're more explosive. Like him and Ryan Bader are almost like splitting images of each other. A little bit of mix up, between like the wrestling styles.
Sure.
But when I look at Moldavsky, the speed kills. That old attitude, it's the speed kills, and this is legit. It will happen. If he's able to drag this into later waters and actually make Tim Johnson fight him from a range, and he can piece him up and touch him up, it could be a long night for Tim Johnson in the stand-up.
All right, I like speed kills, and also, this is that youth versus experience one that can make it interesting. All right. Well, he is hoping that he can bring another belt, that is Moldavsky, to Team Fedor tonight, and that is our main event. It's coming up later on Showtime, but let's get back down cage side for more on our main event and bring in these two guys. Sean, Big John, what do you guys think?
You know what, Jen, it's funny because you guys are talking about the Roy Nelson fight, and Roy Nelson had a very definitive game plan, right? He was going to use all that weight, and he just simply got through 15 minutes. It's like, I couldn't do anything I wanted to do. He had the right idea, but Moldavsky didn't let him come close to doing it.
He did have the right idea, and one of the things that, you know, you got to look at, Tim Johnson does train with Roy Nelson, so he's training with a guy that has been in there with Moldavsky, so that will help him in a lot of ways. The one thing that I know that Tim Johnson's been doing, he's been training with smaller guys that are faster, guys that are lighter, making him work at a higher pace. Very smart for Tim to do, but until you're in there, it's hard to understand how good Valentin Moldavsky is at the transitions of MMA. He doesn't try to land the big shots. He doesn't go after the big knockouts. He'll open up at times, but he just keeps on putting volume on you that just slowly wears you down. And he's used to going with big guys. His last fights, you know, Roy Nelson's big. You know, you take a look at, you know, Javi Ayala, all of them, you know, 260, 265 pounds. So he's used to dealing with the big bodies. He uses speed. We'll see if it's going to work against Tim Johnson.
Well, I'll say this, because I get it, the whole interim thing. I can assure you that Valentin Moldavsky, Tim Johnson, in 30 years with grandkids on their lap, are not going to talk about the night they became interim heavyweight champion. This is as real gets, and you can see why it's these two guys here, you know, fighting in this spot and waiting for Ryan Bader. And by the way, I know everyone is just jumping ahead to Ryan Bader being next, but there's a lot of scenarios here. We don't know how the light heavyweight Grand Prix is going to go. What if Ryan Bader wins? If he goes to the finals, he fights Nemkov again. When is that going to, that could go deep into next year? So this idea that automatically Ryan Bader is next, I think people are kind of jumping to conclusions here, and I learned one thing in my years in this sport. Don't do that.
You can't do that because, look, Ryan Bader is a phenomenal fighter. But when you're looking at this weight class, he's fighting in another weight class right now, and you can't hold these guys who are trying to become champions in a position where they don't even have that opportunity. You got to open it up. I think this is a great job by Bellator. This is the right time to have an interim champion, and whichever guy wins, either Tim Johnson or Valentin Moldavsky, they're going to have to earn it.
All right, no knock on Corey Anderson, but, you know, if Ryan Bader does advance, who knows when he'll be able to fight at heavyweight again. One final prelim coming your way. One of the most entertaining fighters in the Bellator era, John Makapa, coming up next.
Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
Hot off the biggest year of his career.
Johnson just clocked Fortnite!
#1 heavyweight contender Tim Johnson brings his hellacious right hand to a clash against counter-striker Valentin Moldavsky.
It has been domination by Moldavsky.
Riding a 5-fight winning streak. The quest for the interim heavyweight title is on. Bellator MMA, live tonight on Showtime, where warriors rule.
That piece of the puzzle will come together in our main event tonight. There will be an interim heavyweight champion in Bellator. In the meantime, one of the truly fun featherweights to watch over the last few years in Bellator has been John Makapa, and John DeJesus, a veteran in his own right, wants to put him on his wall.
And now ready to make his way to the cage.
Where Brooklyn at? John DeJesus. I've been around pro sports long enough, John, to finally learn the value of what I call irrational confidence. And you're not going to find a more confident 13-9 fighter than John DeJesus. And when I say that with love. Like, that is a vital component to having success, is the belief in yourself. And he does, even with all the losses.
You're absolutely right. You know, coming into Bellator for his very first fight, he fought Vladislav Karpchenko, who was 16-1 when he faced him. And I watched Karpchenko fight. He was really good. And DeJesus came in with this confidence. I was like, man, that's overconfidence. Whoa, I
was wrong because he put a whooping on him. He is a good fighter. He's just getting better. He got a lot of losses early in his career when he didn't know how to fight. Now he does.
And one day you get the feeling that loss to Aaron Pico isn't going to look as bad when Aaron Pico is all said and done.
No.
And now, we welcome John Macapa.
One loss in his first 8 years as a pro. He was 22-1 for the longest time going into his fight with Daniel Weichel 5 years ago in Bellator. And it's funny because having a 7-8 year career, which is one split decision loss, that sounds a lot like Valentin Moldavsky. He's always been an entertaining fighter, trained for a long time with Eduardo Dantas, who was one of the hardest hitting bantamweights you are ever going to see. And generally speaking, his fights are entertaining to watch.
Oh, it is. He likes being the bully.
Yeah.
He likes going in there and stepping forward and going after his opponent, trying to knock him out. That has worked for him in the past, but it's also worked against him. John, at this point, is a more veteran fighter. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of knowledge. He needs to be very careful with what he does because De Jesus is an explosive fighter with a lot of techniques like flying knees.
30 pro fights. And his only time he has been stopped, the only one to stop him, A.J. McKee. Let's check out the tail of the tape as he moves to 145.
Take a look at the difference in that reach. John coming in 68.5. John De Jesus 76.5. That's a huge advantage for him.
To Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at Mohegan Sun Arena, Bellator MMA gets set now to close down the Bellator 261 prelims with 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'10", weighing in 145.5 pounds. His professional record, 13 wins, 9 losses, fighting out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by way of Hollywood, Florida, John Platano de Jesus. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 144.75 pounds. As a professional, he brings a veteran record with 23 victories, 5 losses, 2 draws from Macapa, Amapá, Brazil, presenting John Macapa. And the referee, in charge once again, Brian Miner.
Macapa's been in with some of the best in Bellator, and I told you about A.J. McKee and Daniel Weichel. Curran.
Nice head move by John. Just get himself inside, not keeping his head on that center line.
The biggest thing that changes when you're fighting southpaw.
It's foot position. What you want to do is you want to take away his power hand, that being his left hand. If you're John, you want to step to the outside of that lead right foot that he has. That's going to bring your power with your right hand straight down the pipe.
John Macapa, the veteran who's dealt with so much, lost his home in a fire. 2013, had to basically start his life over again. Talked about the training with Eduardo Dantas you've been around everyone, John. Eduardo Dantas at that weight, good shot from John Makapan. At that weight, the straight left.
Beautiful straight left by John DeJesus.
I have just memories of being in the same gym as Eduardo Dantas and hearing, I never heard anybody hit pads the way he did. Like it sounded like gunshots.
Oh, it happens. You know, there's some guys that they just have heat when they throw. And, one of the things that we know about Makapan, he's got power. He can definitely swat, but so does John DeJesus. And that left hand is finding its mark repeatedly down the middle.
You learn so quickly how deceiving records can be when so many young fighters are thrown in without the proper training, without not knowing who they are going to be as fighters. And you take a fight because you need to take a fight. And that's how you end up 4 and 5, as DeJesus was.
Yeah, what happens is a lot of times, you know, promoters, they're in small promotions, they don't care about your record. They just want to put you in against their guy. And they don't care if you lose. Well, you gotta look at yourself as a business when you're a fighter, and you got to be smart about the fights you take. That's what John DeJesus is doing now. But his skill level has grown so much since those early days and those losses. You can take a look. Just look at the way he's fighting right now. Look at the way he's controlling distance. You see Makapan trying to lunge him to get in at him. DeJesus is being very smart, calculated when he fires that left hand. Beautiful jab. He's controlling the distance of the fight with his feet, with his range, with his length. This is a kid that can fight. Beautiful left hand.
That level change, and that's not even close.
But that's a smart move by Makapan to try to at least get him to have to deal and think with that takedown. The most effective strike you've seen from John Makapan during this is that front teep kick, throwing it straight down the middle. He's landed that multiple times.
Everything to try to get inside. Everything is a setup for something else.
That's it. What he's finding, though, is it's not easy to get. See how he beautiful throws the right hand. He tried to come with a combination, gets blocked, and you see DeJesus just slip right by that big left hand. Big strikes that you see a lot. 40 attempts by John Makapan
in 4 minutes.
12 landed, 9 for 23. But the big difference I would say in those is the amount of power and the accuracy that DeJesus has had is a little bit better.
Watch your head! Watch your head! Watch your head! Should attack the grip! Attack the grip!
This little sequence might be the difference for John Makapan in this round.
Exactly what I was thinking. You needed something to sort of break the tie in the last 30 seconds. And you had the level change and a little control along the cage.
Breath. Deep breath.
You made a great point, John. That the level change by John Makapan, just for something to think about. Just as a change of pace that came after about 3 minutes of being unable to get inside.
The whole point is if you're getting into a kickboxing fight, now you're fighting just with one basic style, one set of tools, where if you bring in that grappling, at least you make your opponent think that, hey, I will attempt to take you down. Now he has to at least give consideration to that. That slows down his offensive progression. It's a smart move.
Makapan lasted a couple of leg kicks, and those are things that don't show up in the first round, but maybe will in the second and third. And DeJesus had won 3 straight until running into Aaron Pico. fight at 145. Coming up. That was a little, yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
Right there. Sorry.
This was one we always used to see John McCarthy walk over, and I would always say, license and registration.
That was a, that's bodies in motion. You see as he throws the kick, you see John try to like just squat down just a little bit. That kind of lowers it down. Jesus. I always love when guys jump up and down like
that's gonna.
I don't know if that's really gonna help you much, but anything, whatever you think worked for you.
What's the most creative attempt to recover you have seen in that spot?
The most creative thing I've ever seen is the guy actually dropped his pants, turning it to what are you doing?
Do fighters, and there the kick stats you see, should be a lot more effective for Jesus, lower percentage, a lower number of attempts. You see fighters sometimes rush back from a low blow.
Absolutely. They want to get back in the fight. They feel like, and it's a lot. Sometimes the pressure even from the crowd or anything, they feel like, oh, I got to get going. When you should take your time as much as you want. But a lot of times, guys are thinking, you know what? I'm in shape. I think my guy's getting tired. I want to push towards getting this going so he doesn't get a break. Nice kick to the body. That was a nice catch by De Jesus, but he wasn't able to follow it up with that left hand.
See the reach of De Jesus. A couple of times with that lead left.
A little bit of Superman punch by Montano. He's looking for that flying knee.
He was.
See him trying to set it up. And all that is through setup. You see that he's using his hands, and you see that John Makapo is starting to drop his head down a little bit. That's what's giving him the idea. Oh, okay, I see where you're going, so I'm going to look like I'm throwing my hands, and here will come the flying knee.
He's also getting in closer than he was.
Oh, that was a good punch.
Good combination.
Good left hand by Makapo.
Straight left again. Didn't have the distance for the head kick.
Nice footwork. Good job of circling out by De Jesus. They're both trying to time off of that. Look at the left hand of John Makapo. Watch the right hand of De Jesus. You see him kind of playing that tagging where what they're trying to do is parry that hand to bring another shot up.
Jesus' hands a little lower here in round two than they were. Single leg, just the strength. You're waiting for a trip and he didn't even need it.
It took, he circled that, making that circle very tight. Beautiful job by Makapo to get him down to the ground. Let's see what he can do while he's here. This is where I believe that John had a distinct advantage in this fight.
He's looking for that right arm of De Jesus. Trying to figure out if he can tie it up somehow.
De Jesus using the cage, grabbed it to get himself back to his feet.
I imagine the evolution of fighters using the cage, learning how to use the cage over again 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
So different. Big.
Yeah, these are big shots here.
You see that coming off of the elbows, coming off of the shoulders. Makapo's throwing, but he's not landing a lot of those. But De Jesus needs to throw something back. again, blocked.
This is a round you have to really be watching the score properly, because it looks like Teixeira's that Makapah's throwing punches, and he is, but he's not. You said he's not connecting. Davies has been much more effective with his strikes.
He did get a right hand in there just a second ago, but overall, he's been, the blocks by Davies have been effective.
Almost got that left knee in there. This is where the first round ended. A close round, but Makapah cannot stay on top this time.
Nice elbow attempt by Makapah.
Jump knee to end the round. That was a really good round for Davies.
John, look at me. Wake up. One more hard round. Look at me.
One of them could be up 2-0, but neither can expect to win.
Exactly right. This fight right now, it could be 2-0, it could be 1-1. It is a close fight, but watch the body kick here. It's beautiful, straight down the middle. But you saw John blade his body a little bit. That takes some of the snap out of that. Combination by Makapah, boom. Lands that left hook over the top. Here comes the Superman punch. Davies through, straight down. Nice. Landed clean, and then this was a beautiful takedown attempt. No, this was not the one where he got, yeah, it is the one that he snaps him down. Beautiful job by Makapah to get that takedown. Both guys should go after this third round like it is the difference in them walking out as a winner or not.
We had some high hopes for this one, and it has delivered.
It's been very technical, but both guys really going after it. There's a lot of action going on. That Superman punch has landed.
He found it in the early in the second round. He found a home for that. That's about 3 or 4 of them.
And it just frustrated John. You could see that Makapah shaking his head is like, I can't believe I let that hit me.
Why McKenzie set up Superman?
Now, first time we've seen John Makapah's back against the fence.
Nice slicing elbow by Makapah. I'm telling you, that kick to the body has landed repeatedly throughout this fight. It wasn't the punch that landed. That was a crossing of the legs that put Davies down. The real difference. Nice hook to the body. Good job by John Makapah to switch that up. The real difference you need to see out of Davies right now, he needs to start throwing more than ones. He's throwing ones. Everything you're seeing is one. It's combinations. It's always those third and fourths that the fighter doesn't see. That's what hits him and does the most damage.
Fighting at much closer range now the longer this fight is gone. The spinning back fist attempt by John Makapah.
And that hit glove, but it's still dragging him a little.
That's the telltale sign right when they shake it off. You rarely pass a lie detector test when you say, oh yeah, that didn't hit.
You can look at those punch stats now. 12 of 71 for John Makapah, 22 of 51 for Davies.
And you see the kicks, but those punch numbers, that's what you were talking about in the second round. When John Makapah, he was throwing a lot, but they weren't getting through at all.
They're not landing, and so when they're hitting off at the elbow, the shoulder, that doesn't count.
Like that.
More than one! Fecha a cabeça, John. Fecha a cabeça.
Jesus has been very successful with that left hand straight down the pipe, but he needs to follow it up with a right hook. Either that or hide his kicks behind it. Keeps on doing the ones. He needs multiples.
That's the Superman punch with the left has been his best in the fight by far, but he hasn't followed it once.
That's exactly it.
There it is again.
Exactly. And you can see it lands and it's solid.
Yeah.
So you should keep putting that jab in the middle of the face and follow it up. Boy, again.
I mean, that's got to be 7 or 8 of those.
That thing has been like there's a beacon and just hits the same spot every time. Nice
found home now.
You take a look at what De Jesus, you saw his back towards the cage, circles out, puts himself towards the center of the cage. That's smart fighting.
Calling for it. Throws it again.
Oh, that was a big left hand.
Best shot for Makaba very early in the fight.
De Jesus is still stunned by that.
See if that's a momentum killer. Veteran John Makaba trying to come back here in the final minute. Heel to short left. Fate with the knee. John Makaba says bring it. That knee got in a little bit. This is good stuff.
That was a good, well-contested fight. Both guys gave everything they could in there. They were going after it. Great performance by both men.
I think you and I see it the same way, John, but that's a tough one to score.
It is a tough one to score. It's really, you got even the third round.
Yeah.
Look at, there's no doubt that John De Jesus landed the more and cleaner and more effective shots, but the biggest shot was landed by John Makaba. It's all in the way the judges are going to look at. I would have given the third round to De Jesus. I thought he landed way more effective shots, even though he got hit with the biggest one. It didn't put him down, but he got hurt by it. Here's that shot. Watch this. Boom. Boom. Those two shots right there.
Saw the eyes roll a little bit. John Makaba's best moments of this fight were in the final minute of each round. And you see how the numbers ended up. Pretty even. So you wanted to be a judge. This was two veterans putting on a show. John De Jesus and John Makaba.
That's mine. Damn, that motherfucker's tough.
Not surprising this would take a little longer.
This is mine. Hey, John, let him know this is mine, man. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Well, Michael C. Williams has the answer.
This is mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, David Peabody, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for De Jesus. Your second judge at cage side, Marcel Varela, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Makaba. Your third and final judge at cage side, John English, scores the fight 29-28. He sees it for the winner by split decision, Plátano, Jesus.
Exactly the way we thought it was going to happen. That had split decision written all over it. And it just seemed that John De Jesus was more efficient, particularly in the middle of that second round. What a great fight. He's with John McCarthy.
John De Jesus, that was a beautiful fight, a beautiful performance. You took shots, you gave shots, but you were blocking a lot of the shots that he was throwing, and your left hand was like a heat-seeking missile for a lot of that fight.
Yes, sir, that's what we drilled on. And my boxing coach, Christopher Williams, we knew he'd be there for the left hand. We knew it. We called it Plátano. Anything coming from the left side, the power side, we call that Plátano. And that's what he was there for. We're going to switch that up again.
Now you have to. Everyone's going to be listening for it. Your movement, your footwork, every time your back got close to the cage, you were circling out, coming to the center of the cage. Being a very intelligent, smart fighter. Talk about your progression as a fighter coming up through the ranks, and now when you're here in Bellator, the performances you're putting on.
Listen, man, I've been fighting killers since day one. Another tough guy in front of me is not that I get nervous about. It's not that I put pressure on myself about. All these dudes that fight nowadays are tough. They all got bangers. They can all wrestle. They can do everything. So I got to come in here and show my best each and every time.
Well, that's what I did. That right there is a huge win for you. Who would you like to face next if possible?
I've been saying this kid's name since I got to Bellator. Adam Borich. Adam the Kid Borich. I was supposed to fight you when I first showed up to Bellator, and you said no. You can't duck me anymore. Quit being a punk and come see me in this cage.
I would love to see that. Would be a great fight. I want to tell you that was a beautiful performance. Congratulations on a big win. Ladies and gentlemen, Plátano John De Jesus.
Careful what you wish for with Adam Borich, but that was an impressive performance by the veteran John De Jesus, who was just a different fighter at age 30 than he was at 25. He goes to 14-9. He gets his second win in the Bellator cage, but more importantly and more recently, he's now 10-4 in his last 14, and he is getting better and better each time out. Jen and Josh, that was kind of what we hoped for with the prelims tonight. We had a feeling that could be a great fight between those two veterans, and it really was.
It really was. What do you think, Josh?
I'm glad he didn't waste his moment to call out somebody that he wanted to fight. No better chance and opportunity to do it, and he did it. I think a perfect call out with Adam Borich. Great fight between the two of them if they can make it happen.
How do you think those two match up then?
Amazing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing fight. Stylistically on the feet, that'd be so much fun. Adam Borich is a little bit taller and bigger, but it should be an amazing fight if they can get that fight together.
Oh, well, we had a great set of prelim fights tonight. It's a perfect way to get into our main card tonight. So let's look a little bit, though, at the Bellator 261 prelims by the numbers. So we've got some fun statistics here for you. Jalen Bates, he had 6 successful takedowns. Soren Bach, he had an impressive 75 landed strikes. And, of course, the fastest fight of the night, we saw Cory Samuels get the knockout in 10 seconds over Isaiah Hawkins. That one was so quick, Josh. Let's run it back from the bell.
Yeah, look, the 10-second knockout is absolutely amazing because that puts him tied at number 4 for all time in Bellator's list of fastest knockouts. But he came out, touched him with the straight left, came up with the right hand, the little right hook, and jumped on top of him. What I loved the most, like I said earlier, was the fact that he didn't try to do a walk-off. You see young talent, they land the shot, and they put their hands up, and they walk away, and they think it's over. That would have given Hogan time to get back on track, maybe get his wits back about him and get back to his feet. He didn't do that. He followed up, and that's the number one thing you tell young talent. Do not stop hitting them until the ref pulls you off. And I was so glad to see that he finally went out there and got that finish the way he should have.
You think that was fight of the night? For the prelims?
We've got a long ways to go.
Well, of course, no, for the prelims, that's what I say. That was, what would you say, fight of the night for the prelims?
So, yes, it was the fight of the night because it was so fast.
Yes.
Because I tied him 4th for the fastest knockout of Bellator history. Yes, it was. But I was very impressed with Jalen Bates. 6 takedowns is a lot. People don't realize how exhausting it is to get takedown after takedown. And he looked dominant his whole fight. Beautiful job by Jalen Bates.
I agree. Let's talk about our main card. As you look at it, we got 5 great cards, fights coming up. When you look at this, what do you think stands out as fight of the night? I know you kind of said it. I want to hear you say it again. What's your favorite fight you're looking forward to tonight, Josh?
Daniel Weichel, the technician, versus Keone Diggs, the Hawaiian punch. This guy right here has got power in his hands, heavy hips, good takedown defense, good submissions as we've seen. But Daniel Weichel, the Grizzly veteran, just someone who knows how to fight, get people to fight his pace of fight, and just such a technician. He's fought all the best guys in Bellator. You know, I'm excited for this fight because it's a huge step up for Keone Diggs, and I think it's his chance. It's time for him to shine. I think this is a perfect challenge for him.
You know, all of Hawaii is going to be tuning in tonight to support their local hometown guy. All right, let's talk about the main event. Tim Johnson, Valentin Moldavsky, the interim heavyweight belt is on the line. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be a good one. Look, like I said, it comes down to styles make matchups. They're very similar in styles. But what the problem is, not the problem, I think it's actually a great problem to have, is that one is going to be faster and quicker. We're going to find out if speed kills. Moldavsky is the smaller heavyweight. He's that new generation of heavyweight. Someone who comes in about 230, 228, 230, somewhere in there. You know, he comes in at that weight class. He will be fast. He'll be elusive. He'll be able to mix it up. He'll be there in the 4th and 5th round as long as he doesn't get stuck on bottom. You know, he's that guy. So Tim Johnson needs to pressure him, make him carry his weight, try to get a takedown. He's got to touch him with the hands, but press him against the fence, hang on him, make Moldavsky tired to try and slow him down and take away his speed factor.
All right, well, we are about, I guess, 25 minutes away from our entire amazing 5-fight card coming your way. It's at 9 Eastern. 6 Pacific over on Showtime, so don't go anywhere. I promise you are not going to want to miss it. We got some great fights coming your way in just a bit. Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
Hot off the biggest year of his career.
Johnson just clocked 4
#1 heavyweight contender Tim Johnson brings his hellacious right hand to a clash against counter-striker Valentin Moldavsky.
It has been domination by Moldavsky.
Riding a 5-fight winning streak. The quest for the interim heavyweight title is on. Bellator MMA, live tonight on Showtime, where warriors rule.
The new Bellator MMA app is here. New look, new features, new fights. Watch live weigh-ins and prelims. Share your fight picks. Earn points and badges as you rank up to the heavyweight division. And stay up to date on events, rankings, and news. For all of the latest features, download the new Bellator MMA app. Available on the Apple Store and Google Play.
Immediately, Sergey Karatanov attacks, and immediately, Avi Ayala shoots.
No surprise in either one of those.
Sergey Karatanov, as any veteran of Pride, so cognizant of the field. Oh! By Avi Ayala, we're done. A stunner in the opening seconds.
What did we say about great opportunities? You make the most of them. He just did. Overhand right, stepped into it. Bang! Out before he hit the ground.
That is what it looked like. Listen to what it sounded like.
Like he dropped a coconut out of the windows.
Nightmare's doing exactly what he needed to do. Backing him up. That's smart.
And Emelianenko with a takedown on Mir. And Emelianenko catching Mir with a sweeping left hook. 30 seconds of fury here to kick off the main event.
Take a look on Frank Mir's face. He's sitting there like, okay, that was fun. Good
Mir with a straight left hand. And Emelianenko close Mir. Emelianenko with ground and pound on Mir. Fedor Emelianenko has turned back time.
it. Boom. That left uppercut lands right on Mir's chin, and he is hurt.
Be the one people will be looking at when it comes to who's going to be the Bellator heavyweight champ, for sure.
Oh, they both double knockdown. Fedor Emelianenko turned, and just like Dan Henderson did, it's over. It's over. Mamma mia, Meathead has done it. Matt Mitrione with another lightning quick finish. What a night at MSG.
Right hands. Both of them threw it. Matt Mitrione just recovered faster and was able to lay it on to Fedor Emelianenko.
And remember when Dan Henderson knocked him out in similar fashion underneath the armpit with those uppercuts.
Bang! Just like Dan Henderson, those short uppercuts right underneath, right to the jaw. A guy Matt Mitrione's size doesn't take many of those to knock you out.
And so far, we have seen Javi Ayala trying to push the pace, trying to create a fight, while Czech Congo content to just neutralize Javi Ayala.
That is exactly what he's doing. It's a perfect analysis of it.
There's a kick from Congo. And overnight, big shot. He's hurt. There's the power. Straight right hand. Down goes Ayala. And just like that, Czech Congo says, hey, I'm not exciting. I'm boring. We'll take that. He just put Javi Ayala in airplane mode.
He comes in. Look at the right hand loading up. Boom! Wow. Straight in. That jars your senses, puts him on his back, straight down. There's no response. Congo comes down to try to finish him. Josh Rosenthal sees enough, stops the fight. Look at that right hand. And you see, it's that traumatic shock that you see out of Javi Ayala.
7th grade, two-time Division II All-American.
Nice use of the right uppercut by Minikoff. Minikoff loves to throw a big overhand right. Oh, he's hurt. Yeah. He's stunned just off of that hand. Stunned.
It is all over.
Watch. Kick inside, but look at the right hand. Boom! Look at the snap. And you can see it sets Johnson on his heels. He goes back. He's trying to get his foundation back. It's not there. That big right hand, then a left hand. He was out on the ground. Big win right there by Vitaly Minikoff. Watch the kick with the right hand. Watch the right hand come straight out. Watch the snap. Boom! You see his head do that little twitch. He's on his heels. He is stunned. He's trying to figure out where he's at. And it's this shot that puts him out. He's out right there.
Johnson surviving the shot below the equator. Lead right hand by Fortune connects. Another right hand. Oh, but Johnson just clocked Fortune. Fortune fingers the bald. And Johnson has knocked Tyrell Fortune out cold.
Here's a replay right here. Tim Johnson comes in, throws the left, but it's the right hand. Look at touch right on that chin. Hit the button. Didn't even need to follow up. Once that right hand touches, left hand comes forward. Both throw the right hand, but it's Tim Johnson's that finds the mark. And you can see Tyrell Fortune is out, going down.
52nd pro fight for Rampage, 46th for Fedor. Midway through round 1, and that uppercut lands over and over. And the return from Rampage.
Fedor doing a very good job of actually confusing Rampage about where he's going to attack. Big shot.
And it is all over. Fedor Emelianenko knocks out Quentin Rampage Jackson.
The shot here, right hand, just starches him. He goes face forward. You see a guy shaking his head. What is it telling you as the referee? I don't want to be where I'm at. I don't want to be in this fight. And that's why it was stopped. A good stop by Kevin McDonald.
Let alone that little bit of attention deficit, if you will, in which Sergey could end the fight.
Nice big uppercut right into the body. Sergey's starting to notice. He's starting to actually step forward on the shots. Matt's trying to push him back, which is a good tactic by Matt Mitrione. That inside leg kick again. He needs to continue to work that, beat up that front leg. But Sergey's starting to get that point where he's not backing up. That's a good thing for Sergey Kharitonov.
He got hit again by the left. John, if Matt's thinking about the mouthpiece, how
is that potentially affecting his breathing?
Oh, there it goes again. And he's frustrated. And it's that frustration. He just got tagged. He's in trouble.
And that's it.
It's over.
And it's all over. Sergey Karatanov.
He's got his mouth open. That shot hits. There goes the mouthpiece again. That was not a hard shot. That was what we would call a grazing shot because his mouth is open. That mouthpiece is not fitted. Don't ask me why it's not fitted. You're a professional fighter. You should be going in with the very best equipment. Now he gets hit with that uppercut that we talked about. What was the shot we said? He is so good with the power on that uppercut. And that's the end of Matt Mitrione.
Push kick from the champion.
Oh, huge right hand. Minikov now looking to finish and take the title. Ferocious ground and pound. Volkov's hurt, trying to stay in this fight. He is intelligently defending himself right now.
Jackhammer rights, partially getting through now. The hammer fist, the left hand.
And that is it! TKO victory for Vitaly Minikov. He is Bellator's new heavyweight world champion. No doubt that uppercut nailed him. Good right hand. Murgliata's right here looking at it. But look at the recovery of Volkov. Now here's the uppercut. Bang, big shot. Knocked him down. Another good right hand to the temple.
He's always found a way to come back, which talks about his heart and his desire to just stay in the fight. I thought
big knee in the middle.
That's it, finish.
It's all over.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yes, it is. I had a feeling. It is all over. Steve Mowry with the knee.
You saw it touch the chin, and he continuously, throughout this fight, brought that knee up and landed big shots. That was the last one. You can see he doesn't want to hurt his opponent. He believes he's done. Referee Kerry Halley says, nope, he's still ready to fight. He's going to give him a shot. Lands a couple more shots. That's the end. That was a beautifully landed knee, Josh.
That's something you don't often see, blood spurting out.
Forming under the left eye of Michael Chandler.
Oh, another big right hand. He's hurt. He's hurt badly.
Chandler now pouncing. Alvarez bleeding terribly out of the mouth. Chandler letting go with the full-on ground and pound.
He needs to get space. He needs to get up right now. Chandler is all over him.
Chandler trying to move to side control, and he has it. Chandler knee on belly, passes. Beautiful pass now into mount for Michael Chandler.
And he has great recovery, but he's mounted right now. Now giving up his back.
Chandler looking
That's it.
choke. There's the tap, and we have a new champion. Michael Chandler is Bellator's new lightweight world champion.
That right hand was landing all night, but this time he was able to get on top, able to get in his comfort zone on a rocked and hurt Eddie Alvarez and never let him off the hook here in full mount. Eddie turned his back, and from here, that's it. Arm underneath, power, Mataleon, rear naked choke. The ref saying improve your position. Improvement for Wilcox is getting back to his, improvement for Stepanyan is getting back to his feet. Wilcox now trying to pass. Stepanyan has to watch himself.
He might have it. Attempt. Wilcox looking to finish on the come from behind victory. Has it locked.
He's got it. It's over.
Stepanyan trying to resist. Choked unconscious. Technical submission win for Justin Wilcox.
Never seen that in a fight. A guy get kicked into a cartwheel and see this spinning kick. Caught him in the back of the head. Wilcox gets him down. And here is the end. Both hooks in. That arm under the neck. Beautiful Mataleon finish. Stepanyan went out. Leone's still going hard for it.
Leone tenaciously going for the single leg. Look at that balance from the champion Eduardo Dantas.
And flexibility.
Bad position, the great position now for Dantas. They're still going back to the single leg.
Oh, man! How slick was that from Eduardo Dantes? And there's the tap, and there's the successful title defense. Highlight real submission by the champ, Eduardo Dantes. Leone going hard for the takedown. But Eduardo Dantes showing flexibility, angling out of it. And here it is, over pursuing the takedown. Look, just steps back, right into back mount, and that was done. Had the arm trapped. No way for Anthony Leone to defend that rear naked choke.
His 5 wins by submission under the Bellator banner currently have him tied with Michael Chandler and Toby Imada. Under 2 minutes left in the round.
Look at that, beautiful job taking the back.
Piccolotti wearing Yamauchi like a backpack, and now Yamauchi looking to sink in his patented rear naked choke.
I think he's got it. It is tight. We're done.
And for the 12th time in his career, Yamauchi with a rear naked choke victory, sending Piccolotti to, well, his first loss.
To take the back from a lot of people would be too high or too low. He gets it perfectly. Piccolotti trying to defend, but took his eyes off the prize for a second right there. As soon as that arm sneaks underneath, look at the strength on this Mata Leon. They call it the Lion Killer for a reason. Beautiful job stepping over the arm. Adam Piccolotti, no choice but to tap. Look at the technique on this. Never loses position. Always not just torquing on the neck, but great job activating the hips, keeping Piccolotti flat.
The southpaw Mix in the blue gloves. Mix telling us that his biggest strength as a fighter is his mindset, his conditioning. He's best at winning at all costs inside the cage. And while Bandejas says that his experience against more well-rounded fighters will serve him well in this matchup, although it's Mix looking for the takedown early, hooks the leg, back, climbs his back immediately, body triangle. Wow, what a start for Mix.
This is what we were talking about. This is a bad situation for Ricky Bandejas. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, Patchy's going to be able to finish his fight here, but this is Pat Mix's specialty, getting the back and keeping it.
4 of Mix's 6 submissions have been via rear naked choke. He's looking for one early here in the opening minute.
He is, and he's trying to lock that hand behind. He's already got the one around that neck.
Bandejas has been submitted via rear naked choke.
He's got problems right here, Moro.
He goes down.
He's done.
It's over. What a debut. Patrick Mix with a first round rear naked choke. Welcome to Bellator MMA.
Patchy has got that ability. There he goes. One little mistake by Ricky Bandejas, and he's got the back. He's got the body triangle. And now he starts working the hands. And he's so good at working that choke in. Look at all of his wins. Most of them are by that rear naked choke.
Stunning first round submission victory for Patrick Mix. Picks up his 11th consecutive win, remains unbeaten with his 6th first round finish.
Third generation is guys who spent their whole life training this sport.
They've been watching it on Spike since they were 12, 13 years old. They said, this is what I want to do. This is my sport.
They know stuff at 22, 23 that didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago.
You see the damage the elbows are starting to do now.
Beautiful shot right over the eye. That's a nasty one. Soto right now just trying to survive.
He's in danger of giving up his back.
Man, I'm telling you, when your head doesn't have anywhere to go when it's stuck against the mat, the shots are even worse. If he can lock his hands, this is over. He's under the chin.
Soto fought him off once. Oh, we got major problems here for Soto. Wow. And it's done.
That looked like a blood fountain coming out of his nose. So much pressure with that rear naked choke. Forearms, his punches, didn't go for the rear naked choke until he had it. And look at that. That's something you don't often see, blood spurting out from the pressure of the rear naked choke. Soto held on as long as he could. And bang, it pops out.
Riddle trying to sit up. He's already in a lot of crack. And there's the tap.
Very nice
previously done. He may try to continue that same roll through again if he can. He's just trying to get that Kimura out. If he can get that Kimura out and finish from there, or he can go straight arm bar as well.
He gets the Kimura. If he gets this arm unlocked, he's got that Kimura. Now it's a matter of he's got the position, but he doesn't have the arm in the right place. That's why this triangle position is not putting Neal in a place where he can be choked unconscious. There's that Kimura.
It's all over! Just like that!
Triangle here, but what is he doing? He's attacking that Kimura position. As soon as Neal popped his head out, that freed up the arm for the Kimura, and he was able to go ahead and turn it back the other way on the nice transition of the Kimura. Beautiful job by Aviv Ghazali.
That's what makes you dangerous, is when you can transition from one submission to another. You get your opponent where they're a step behind, and when you're a step behind, it only takes one little mistake.
And they're just trading bombs. Nobody stepping back. Great right hand by Pitbull.
That's his best punch of this round. Straight right hand by Pitbull. Cuffing left in the knee on this shot by Woodard.
I think Patricky is hurt by that knee. See him coming up, going for the armbar. Woodard's out.
Woodard looking for the hammer fist. An armbar danger and pulls out. He recognized that quickly. Side control now by Lloyd Woodard, looking for wrist control.
Now the key is how badly was Patricky hurt by that knee, because he's in a bad position now. He needs his wits about him. I don't know if he has them.
Woodard looking for the Kimura.
Oh, he lost it for a second. Now he's got it.
Woodard trying the Kimura, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he has it locked. You see there's the tap, and the submission win for Lloyd Woodard. He is through to the final four.
At the end, had the Kimura. He briefly slipped out, but here has it, cranks it. You can see the elbow. Turn away if you have to. Bang! Left elbow dislocated. And that elbow snapped. See it here, Lloyd Woodard just in great position, cranking with everything he has. And bang, it pops out. With the wrist control, has to pull it closer to the body. She might have it, can't see it from here. And she's going for it.
Leg over.
And she's gonna put everything behind that. She has to bring the wrist closer into the body. It's pretty far extended. Now she might have it.
That's it. Amazed Sarah Payne lasted that long.
She really did everything she can, and she is grabbing her shoulder. She's in a lot of pain. Get her hips engaged in the submission. Now, look at the half guard of Payne. She was able to catch that leg in half guard. She was able to do little things to kind of delay the inevitable here. Hook in the leg, but man, she taps like she means it when she gets this shoulder cranked. Once Medeiros was able to get her hips really behind it. Look at this tap and the grimace on her face. That is Payne. Great job by Medeiros. Able to really twist that arm. And she went forward 100%. Good commitment with the submission.
That was a dominant performance by the experienced Brazilian.
Riggs has to turn toward him and pull that right elbow out. The right shoulder and elbow, he's got to turn it.
You see Riggs interlocking his fingers. Riggs playing all defense.
Now it's back to the Kimura. He might have this.
Riggs rolling.
Oh, he's
There's
got
a lot of crank on that. Huge crank. Riggs still fighting.
Jeremiah Riggs, this is all heart here because that is deep.
Tiller's looking for this submission finish. 125 remaining in this fight. Look at the crank and the torque.
And this is how a shoulder snap.
And that's it. Verbal submission called by referee Myron Gode.
You do hear Jeremiah Riggs scream, and there isn't any room to buck from that position. It wasn't like he was in mid-move and got his arm caught. I mean, he was stuck up against the fence, so I understand why the referee stopped that. That was a good call. I thought his shoulder was going to snap very soon. Now he's got the position for a Kimura. It's a strong man's move. Really works if you're the bigger guy. He's committing to it.
And there's the tap.
So there's the Kimura. He's supposed to step over the head. Ideally, with the Kimura, he couldn't get it, but he cranks it before Rig Maiden has a chance to roll, gets the finish. We'll see here, sat up the right way, isolates the arm, controls the wrist, reaches through. You see that step with the left leg that's supposed to be over the head.